All right, so we had to change location a little bit. So this is part 7. I'm going to call this Letters and Mixtapes Nostalgia. So, like I said, he approached really respectfully, had the little, very professional, which I like, so it doesn't, who wants anybody from the outside looking in to have the impression that there's something weird going on? Because there are a lot of weird things going on here in Valdosta, and we're going to get to that, which is the real reason um, that brought me to having to record this. So, because there are some strange things happening. But anyhow, so yeah, it was really respectful. The letter, I was excited about the letter portion of it because I'm just like, yes, yes. And normally when somebody wants to put like dollars or something, I'm usually like, no, because nothing that I need costs any money. But then I realized that, those things are helpful to have. And even though I may not, that may not be the primary need on my heart is anything that has anything to do with funds. Those things are nice to have, and it is a part of love if it's given out of love. So I accept. but so for this instance, I accept. It may not always be like that. I think God tells me when to and when not to accept. But anyhow, and it's refreshing. To me, it's refreshing when men do it and for me to receive, because that means that it has to be with purity, because my heart won't allow me to receive it. You know what I'm saying? So moving on. So yeah, so I was excited about that because I've been wanting a pen pal. I like to write. These days it would be called a text buddy. But my text buddying would be all about the business because that's what it's tied to. But that's the business is me. That's what I am. So anyhow, so moving forward from that, I had somewhere that I needed to be. So I did I call it Stacy Dash, Stacy Dash. So I did that, went on about my business. Now my hiking backpack, which I said I was going to show you, it is ginormous. That's what I went to take care of because since last November, I've been trying to repair it. And it's in the process, but I've gotten a lot of work. This is it. So I've gotten a lot of work done. So this is my baby. So it would have been a lot better if I gotten it done a lot sooner. But this whole and this has been through with me with some things. I've carried like literally 5 gallons of water at a time, and unfortunately, because so much time has passed, the fabric that I was using to replace it is worn. So I'm gonna have to keep doing it. But actually, it's a joy to be able to do it because it's a love labor that I put into it. And just as I anticipated, this side is all the way let out. This side is not, but this is what I use to carry more stuff. But I'm in love with this. I don't care what I have to sew on here to keep it together is happening because this is my baby for real. This is my tangible husband, okay? But yeah, so I love this thing. You would be amazed at what it packs, and I can carry this on my back. It's got to be like 50 pounds, I swear. And then basically everything is like office in a bag, lunch in a bag, because the food is important to me. The food has got to be good, so I'm willing to carry it. So that, and then I have my yoga and relaxation and meditation in a bag too. So all of that's good. But anyhow, so you've seen the bag. But yeah, so that's what I was going to do for the day, and I was like, hey, I've been looking, and to tell you the heavy duty, if you guys need to repair your own backpacks and things like that, and you carry a lot, the heavy duty thread you can get from, I didn't see it at Walmart, so I had to go to Hobby Lobby. So you can get it from Hobby Lobby. I'm sure Michael's probably has it too. And I got that and a set of like maybe 6 or 8 needles. Heavy duty repairing needles with the curved needles too. Now I'm going to tell you, when I went there, I had a very good experience. Hobby Lobby, Norman Drive and St. Augustine Road, and the lady there has such this beautiful country accent. But you might not know it, but I actually do love people. But I try to keep things pulled back a little bit. But she just has a lovely accent. But she helped me out, and she was just like, I don't know why you need the curved needle for, because, and the thing about it, really, The straight needle will get you through everything, and the stitches are a lot better for me personally when you do the straight needle. The curved needle is easy, like when you're going around, like if there's like thick cords or something that you're going around. But I found that my stitches weren't as even, so I actually like doing the straight needle better. And because some of the portions of the bag were really thick, I did break a needle, so it's good to have all those little extra needles in there. Um, but yeah, so it was a good project. I think I'm going to keep doing it. It's not finished, but I can actually carry things in it, and that's my favorite bag of all time. So what was my point? Yeah, that's what I was going to do when he gave me that stuff. And like I said, all it takes is somebody to bless you a little bit, and all the other blessings come together. I really believe that when God says the two or more gathered in my name, all it takes is somebody else to have some positive energy towards you, give you a little bit of godly love, and it's like everything pours in. And it really did. I really had a great day. I had a chance to explore a lot of things. So should I fast forward now? Yeah, so I'll fast forward to today. Oh, not even today, but just the thought process in between the last Saturday meeting and this past Saturday. So like I said, I am single and satisfied. That's one of the, back to the singles ministry. That's one of the singles ministry. That was a story time with the singles and satisfied portion of it, right? And then and I don't know this man's whole story, but then the next part of it is give me a minute, you guys. I need to catch my breath. Like I said, there's 3 different portions of the singles ministries. I just talked about the single and satisfied. And the next one is the SEES ministry, SEES. So that's sanctified expression of empowered singleness. And so that's where you're battling. So single and satisfied, once again, is where you're single. You don't have any urges. Everything you do is for God. And that's basically what singleness is. Single and satisfied is, when you're truly single, is 1 Corinthians 7:32. It says that everything that you do, you live to please God. You're not thinking about nothing else, right? But SEES, which is SEES, is sanctified expression of empowered singleness. That's when you're battling from time to time, maybe the desire to be with somebody, in the physical world. And it doesn't necessarily mean intimately, but just, company. So it's battling sensual energy or lust, and you're working towards or finding a support group to, practice strict purity, celibacy, and spiritual discipline, right? And I think this is important because, as I mentioned before, we're human. There's biological things that we go through, and some of it's not us. You know what I'm saying? It's not us. It's just the thing with Mother Nature. And just like the moon has control over the ocean waves, sometimes there's other things dealing with nature that has control over us. It's saying, hey, your biological clock is ticking. I'm going to need you to produce something, But if you are aware that this is totally a biological thing, then you don't fall in, you know what it is. So you don't fall into the trap or snarings of these biophysical things that may happen for women, maybe on a monthly basis or so, or you're wondering why, you even gave this person a second glance. All they did was walk past. You know what I'm saying? So, those are the things that are explored in that sect of the singles ministry, the sanctified expression of empowered singleness. You're empowering yourself through Christ to be single, knowing in a sanctified way, knowing that you are, of the flesh. So there are things that Mother Nature and things like that try to put into play, but when you're aware of it, you're like, that's not happening, right? So with that in place, for me personally, I like being alone. I like my space, as much space as possible. I don't like people too close, but the thing about it is, there are times, sometimes, like I'm gonna tell you, like last night, it was a really nice night last night. There was stars, and I have the blessing, the gift of being able to enjoy, lay on my back and look up at the stars and the cloud. I don't have no shame if I have a mat here and I wanted to, I'd lay on my back and look at the clouds and stars now, right? But then sometimes there are times when you want to have an intelligent conversation with someone, a deep conversation with someone, a spiritual conversation. And that's the hard part, because being a true, these love bugs, being a true Christian, it's hard to find those types of conversation. Everybody wants conversations that, centers around things that are popular, But for me, I just like nature and the peace. I just want to sit back and look at the stars and talk about the stars and talk about the constellations and, like Jill Scott was saying, have a conversation about Sirach, the Bible, and those are the things, spiritual things. And sometimes it's very hard to find. And sometimes when you're in that in between space where, man, this would really be a nice opportunity. You're sitting here looking at the stars. If there was somebody else sitting here looking at the stars, in your separate spaces, not in each other's face or nothing like that, but just enjoying the same thing that you're enjoying at the same time, And it made me feel very, I don't know what the word is, maybe wistful. I was thinking back to when I was little, the movie American Tail with Fievel. And Fievel was sitting out looking at the night sky, and he was singing Somewhere Out There, And I was just like, what? And then the thing about it too, the aging process as an older woman, I mean, the chances are you're not going to find a 50-year-old like sitting at a park looking at the night sky, you know what I'm saying? Unless they're running away from, they just needed some peace to step away from the family. Everybody's married at this point, And I don't want to be married. I want to find other people that are not married, that enjoy being not married, that actually love their own personal space. And, they respect boundaries of their own, and they respect other people's boundaries. But every now and then, they might want to get together and have a conversation about something deep, abysmal deep. You know what I'm saying? They might want to enjoy nature with another human being. You know what I'm saying? Oop, I'm over time, see? And this is the Seeds, and we'll come back.